Hello and welcome to the NEWrestle podcast, episode 3. I am Kale Streeter. We are joined with Drew Kassler and Cody Mainquist here in the studio. Just want to say quick shout out, thank you to our sponsor, Insure Nebraska and Joe Schleckerbeer. Obviously, this would not be possible without you and your help to get this thing underway. So, guys, it is freaking time. It is competition week. What are your thoughts? Drew, start with you, man.
Dude, I'm just excited it's here. Like we spend a lot of time doing analysis and talking, and it gets to the point where there's only so much that can be said, and it's kind of time to let the fur fly, if you will. And it's going to be, I mean, opening weekend's always a lot of fun because you're figuring a lot of things out. You don't know what weights everyone's going to be at. There's kids, that are maybe a weight or two higher, so you're probably going to see some interesting matchups and stuff too. So I'm ready.
Yeah, dude. What about you, Cody?
Well, in the famous words of Cam Scattaboo, woo! Wrestling is here, boys. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
dude.
Heading to York this weekend. We got a lot of fun matchups. I will be curious. Waverly, Central Valley, some of these teams, how many guys actually wrestled this weekend coming off state championships last week? That is one thing I will be curious about.
Yeah, it's always. I mean, years and years and years have gone by where all these state finals. I mean, most of the time, the teams that have in football that have been state championship caliber teams, they're always unsure where. I mean, dudes are obviously not going to be down to weight.
Yeah.
I think of like Burwell when I used to be out at the Ravenna Invite when I was in Hershey. Like it seemed like Burwell missed the first tournament of the year like for 3 years in a row or something like that. And so like Central Valley's now in that case kind of, and obviously Waverly and some others. So it'll be quite interesting. So like we're kicking things off. Obviously, kind of wanted to hit the fact that there is an in-state Division II duel going on Friday already between number 1 UNK and number 22 Shadron State. That duel is going to be at Kearney High. Either of you have any thoughts on that one?
My first thought is, how about the program Brett Hunter has built up out at Shadron? Because Shadron's always been kind of like the second or third fiddle, even when UNO was around, and he's went to work and he's really brought that program back, usually with a bunch of Nebraska kids.
Mm.
They're going to have a couple probably go on Friday. Hunter Jacobson at 133, and then Mason Vilwalk at 197. Our guy
Yeah,
Mason, he's in the rankings now. Hunter might be too. He was last year at 25.
yeah,
And then Brooks Loosefelt, he might wrestle at 184 because Shadron, their 184 pounder, Keegan
Gil
Gelhausen, who's
Husen.
who's ranked number 1, has kind of got like a minor thing, so he might not be available till next week. So Brooks Loosefelt actually already has a ranked win this year over a kid from Fort Hays State. So be good
Good
to see
for
those guys. Be good to see Coyle and Arata do their thing too, and could be a Jacobson or Arata meet up there between a couple of the MWC guys that probably have wrestled each other a million times over the years.
Yeah, I'll be excited. That's going to be fun. They just barely missed each other too in high school before
Mm-hmm.
Jacobson transferred to Waverly to get into Class B.
Mm.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cool. It's cool that they were able to make it work. I don't think they dueled each other last year, so the fact that UNK and Shadron are getting to renew, I don't know if you want to call it an old rivalry just yet, but it's good. It's good for those kids too because I mean they all know each other as well. So
Well, they're Kearney used to be in the RMAC, correct?
yeah, and they're
So
not anymore. They're in
yeah,
the MIA.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean that'll be neat. You don't know. Kearney's ranked number 1. I think they're favored in most of the matches, but you don't know who's all going to be out there, who's all healthy this time of year. That UNK Open was one heck of a deal. Not last weekend, but the week before, the Eunice Hospitality Open. That event is just nuts. There's I mean, dozens and dozens of Nebraska kids. I think I counted close to 70
I think
alumni
you
from
texted me
Nebraska that wrestled.
73.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like, which is really neat. So, I know we got some pictures and stuff out of that event, and maybe we'll shine a bigger spotlight on it even next year since there's that many people.
Yeah, so that's kind of the college thing, obviously. Then we get hammer the pedal to the metal on the Thursday duels. Everybody seems to be kicking off their season in a couple days. You got 2 more sleeps until really start hammering the old getting it done on the mat. So I kind of highlighted a duel that I thought might be interesting on Thursday is C number 9 Mitchell versus B5 Scotts Bluff. Just with some of the transfer that Mitchell picked up in Dre Gardner, obviously bolsters that lineup, and then Gavin Cheek and some of those guys that they have. Mitchell has always been kind of one of those programs out west in Class C that's been, like they've obviously been to the pinnacle, but they've always got tough kids up and down the lineup, and so it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if there's enough firepower there to beat a Scotts Bluff, but nonetheless, it kind of paints a picture of what maybe we can expect out of both of those teams a little bit.
What weight is Cheek at?
I believe it's 144.
Oh, dang. So he went up some.
Couple
Yeah.
weights. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean that there's going to be implications on that duel. I think for state duels. I feel like Scotts Bluff every year, and maybe I'm generalizing here, but it just seems like they kind of always have some bad luck. Maybe a couple guys get hurt, or some people transfer or just quit entirely.
Yeah.
But they have a pretty big room of kids. I think they probably have 30 to 40 guys. So
They got bit hard by the injury bug last year.
Yeah, so it'll be good for them, to start their season with a win. Mitchell's going to have their kind of little murderers row there, 113 through 26, right, with Foose and Jimenez and Dre Gardner, who transferred in. He's a state runner-up in Class D. So, yeah, be pretty nice opening night duel.
Yeah, I think that's probably kind of the highlight event of Thursday if you had to pick one, like if you had to single out one duel. But then you jump into Friday, and obviously in Class A, Cody, you can kind of shed some light on this. Columbus versus Grand Island is going to be a huge duel out of the gate.
Yes, and my very first question is, if this duel is tight, do we see Mason Peterson go up to wrestle Caden Harder at 65?
Well, I don't think Mason Peterson's afraid of anybody. So
no, I don't think so either.
It's possible.
Yeah,
I know Columbus has some guys
be
jammed in the middle weights there, don't they?
Yeah, so they got a really good punch through the middle weights. I mean, we have one of our top freshmen, Chase Jenny, who might not even crack that lineup at Columbus because he's in those middle weights. So that'll be extremely competitive. I think Columbus has just a little more firepower behind them, but Grand Island, if they're going to get him, it'll be in the upper weights. So that'll be a back and forth duel. I think that'll be a lot of fun, and Grand Island's always a good atmosphere. So I'll be very curious. And then Columbus turns around and goes to Bennington the next morning. So that'll be.
Oh yeah, instead of Kearney, they're in Bennington. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Probably have to mention a little bit that when me and Drew did our deal a couple weeks ago, we talked about best duel atmosphere, and Coach Keysweater reached out to us and challenged us and invited us to go to the duel against Norfolk on January 13th. So I'm guessing this duel must be in Grand Island.
Yes.
That we did not get an invite to see that one.
Yeah. So it was interesting too, because we had just finished typing up our best atmospheres article, and Columbus was already on there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, can I rewind on one thing?
Yeah.
There's another pretty big duel Thursday night in Class A. between Elkhorn South and Papillion La Vista, and there's going to be a lot of. I mean, you're not going to have your big names per se, but there will be a lot of ranked matchups in that duel.
And
Oh,
those are two
perfect.
teams that probably have a decent opportunity to make the state duels. Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
yeah.
they were both in state duels last year, so
Mm.
definitely have my eye on that one.
So seating implications and all that kind of stuff. That's nice,
And we
especially
will
on a
have a
Thursday.
photographer there.
Hey, fantastic.
Yeah.
Megan the goat.
Yep.
Friday though, there's a triangular in Class C as well that is going to be kind of tough, which also involves the aforementioned Mitchell. Mitchell comes into Minden to wrestle against them in St. Paul. So Mitchell, Minden, St. Paul triangular is going to be a fun one, I think, for in the Class C team aspect. Obviously, with lineups and how they shake out. I'm actually really interested this year on Minden to see how they replace some of those high end points that they had, because I don't think that they're going away. I think they've done a fantastic job of development, and so like I think that it'll be interesting who slots into those weights that can potentially replace those guys and be basically the next era of Minden Whippets. You know.
They're gonna have a couple names since you brought it up. Byron Kring and Isaac
Yep.
Reed. They're gonna be middleweight guys, and they were pretty successful as eighth graders, and even last year as freshmen wrestling some varsity and JV were solid. So
Hmm.
yeah, Minden's a team to kind of watch to climb the rankings, even, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's obviously a lot of room to grow. Like they have a lot of space there. Because just when you have an experience, you don't get to. You're not going to start out up there number two, three, four, or whatever. But they have a lot of potential to climb the ranks. Um,
I'm excited to see Minden Saturday. They'll be in York.
Yep, yep.
yeah.
They have one of my favorite guys, state champion bull rider, Kanan Heath.
Oh,
So
yeah.
always a little
Uh,
extracurricular fan.
so before we jump into Saturday, Cody likes to jump the gun here a little bit.
You
Some
got to get
other
the
some
bull
other
rider plug in though
Yeah,
when
exactly.
you
We
get
were
a
yeah,
chance.
talking
You have to
Minden,
do it.
baby.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, the Ravenna invite is largely a Class D invite, but if Central Valley, obviously, if they were full strength, it would be a little bit more of a story. But with them coming off of football, like you guys said, who knows what they're going to actually have? But otherwise, that'd be Burwell is there, Loomis is there. They're all top 10 teams. Obviously, there's some Class C schools that are in that mix a little bit, but Ravenna Invite has 20 schools in that tournament, I believe, is what I counted up. So that'll be a full gym there in the old Dom Reich's Invitational. Either of you have any thoughts on Burwell and Central Valley?
I don't know this one. It would be more of a question for you guys or Colin. Is will Jace Martin be down to 13? Because if he's up at 20, that could be real fun.
So I know that they're gonna try to get him to 13. I have no idea yet if he's there yet, and I haven't looked if they even entered their stuff yet on track, Coach Waddington. So, but the plan for him is to go to 13. So I imagine he's probably gonna start at 20. But
Nice. That'll be a fun little group there at 20 with Wadsworth, Palzer, Wendell, and Engel.
yeah, yeah, and the Ravenna invite's always been kind of fun. I had some I mean, Drew, you had experience there with being at Elm Creek,
yep.
as coaching, and I coached at Hershey and Wood River, and so like it's always kind of a fun tournament to kick off, especially if you're a Class D fan and Class C fan. So then there's the Lakeview invite and the Fremont invite. I'm gonna go to the Fremont invite because that's more your angle there, Cody.
Yeah, that is got number 7 Millard West, Omaha Bryan, who was just outside. They'll be up there. Norfolk Central. There's gonna be a lot of big names there. I'm excited to see the 113 weight with Kyrie Thomas Callaway, Isaiah Tuttle, freshman Holden Townsley. We'll get to see his first action. Obviously, he's coming off a big summer. Kellen Krivolovic from Elkhorn and Corbin Pollard from Norfolk, Ed Menardi Gross. That is a loaded weight at Fremont. And it's just exciting to see um, kind of the team race there, I think, will be interesting with Norfolk and Millard West and Bryan.
Yeah. Um, what'd you have? What is there anything at heavyweight there at Fremont?
Yeah. Preston Wagner, Amir Heish, Deckerson Morgan.
Okay. Sounds like there'd be some good ones there. So, with the Lakeview tournament specifically, uh, I actually think that like Columbus SCOTUS is an interesting team to watch this year personally. Um, the Lakeview tournament has a handful of Class C's, a handful of Class B's, a couple D schools are in that tournament as well. But SCOTUS Central Catholic, like that's a team that went away for a while, and last year they kind of came out of. I feel like personally, I mean, maybe you guys were a little bit better on it with being in the media last year, but they came on pretty strong in terms of a team depth position, and so like they've got dudes up and down the lineup that can be dangerous. Obviously, with the guys that are ranked, that we have ranked, I don't know. I look for them to be very strong this year, obviously, and then Elkhorn Valley's up there. North Bend's Guns are there with Philip Streff and Cash Stanek. It'll just be, I don't know. That Lakeview tournament, I've always going on, and it always seems to go well into the night on a Friday
Yes.
night. It seems like that. I
I
feel
think it
like
was
the
2 years
finals.
ago. They got over 2 minutes before midnight.
Yeah, like I remember watching those results on track. Like we were coming home from somewhere, or I can't remember what I was doing as I was coaching and stuff, but like laying
But
there
they
in bed
split the
watching the
boys and
finals.
girls up now, though, didn't they? Because isn't that what was making it go so long?
I believe that those are still listed together on track.
Okay.
So one of the tournaments that I was looking at, maybe that might have been Conestoga. I don't know. I went through a ton of them this
Yeah, I
week,
thought
so
last year was the first year they split that up.
it could be. All right. So then, kind of going into some Saturday action, or are we missing Friday here?
Drew, did you want to hit on Friday night? You'll be at the York girls tournament.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean York was great last year. Bound to be some pretty solid matchups. I know the York girls themselves are solid. Wood River's been good in the past. They'll be out there. So, I mean, I haven't had a chance to say it yet. These opening weekend events, um, there's going to be matchups that we talk about and that you hope will happen. But at this time, you just don't really know. It almost seems like more often than not, they don't, you know?
Yeah. And I need to look a name up real quick because this was kind of her kickoff last year. Um, Purdue from York. Had
Hmm.
not really heard of her, and then she kind of went through and had a heck of a tournament.
She's been good the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yep.
So obviously, then there's a couple other girls tournaments that are going on too. The Friday night fracas up at West Point. South Sioux City girls are up there with the Neb City girls. Our boy Sean mentioned that that's a pretty good one. You want to be checking out the results on that one if you're rummaging through track wrestling on a Friday night. And obviously West Point, I believe they use. I can't remember. When Ryan Brand was up there for a while, and he used to run that tournament on the computers, and I can't remember if they used two gyms for that or not. But it's a pretty big thing. I mean, that might be their tournament later, the West Point tournament, but. In any case, obviously good girls tournament up there. And then the Cozad girls invite. I don't know a whole lot about that. Do either of you know much on that one currently?
I do not. And
Okay.
if is that going on Friday?
That's also Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Cozad Gretna East Duel must be at the middle school Friday night then.
Could be. So Cozad girls tournament is like there's a fair amount. Alliance, Brady, Bridgeport, Broken Bow, Cozad, Hastings, Lexington girls are out there. Some smaller schools: Sydney, Platteview, St. Paul, Twin Loop. So it looks like they're just getting something started out there for me. Uh, so okay. Well, we want to move to Saturday.
Yeah.
Hey, one match that I wanted to talk about for girls would be the Thursday, I think, opening night match between Purdue and Freoff from Seward. That's a rematch of state finals last year. So that could happen. Freoff might be at 110, and you never know, but that's a good one to look at.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so Saturday, obviously, we are going to be streaming the York Boys Invite as well. Why don't you guys shed some light on that tournament and the old
Th-
tournament that Tyler Herman is running out there?
They have a huge tournament. Scott's not in it this year. They are going back to Gardner Edgerton invite. They were in it last year, but
Dude,
you still got
I
you still got
have
to
to say real quick that Gardner Edgerton tournament
yeah.
is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've had a chance to read into that one too much, but it's like Allen, Texas is like won 14
Yeah.
out of the last 15 in Texas.
Southeast Polk.
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, 21 state championships since 1999. Southeast Polk in Iowa won state last year. They're ranked number 18 in the nation.
Yeah.
And I mean, and then the list goes on. Like Goddard, Kansas has won a bunch recently. Liberty, Missouri's nationally ranked. I think they're right around where Prep is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that like Lincoln East is down there as well. It's going to be
Yeah.
a banger. That's a good one.
Yeah. Lincoln East has gone, I want to say, shoot, the last decade. So I always look at those results, and it's Staley is there too, a big program out of Kansas City.
Mm.
That's always it's always tough. But yeah, so Scott, they are going back to Gardner Edgerton, but you still have a bunch of top teams. You got number 3 Beatrice, number 6 York, number 12 Waverly in Class B, number 4 Central City, number 13 Minden in Class C, and number 10 Papio South in Class A. So kind of all across the board there. You're gonna have a bunch of ranked matchups. Another one of those tournaments where we're gonna see some promising freshmen that we've kind of been hitting on. So it'll be quite the tournament. I think my favorite weight's gonna be 126.
Has to be.
Yeah, Cole Carlin was actually down to Rosenthal last year and came back in the third to beat him. And now you're adding Dominic Olson to the mix from Waverly. So that's the weight I'm gonna have my eye on, as long as they're all at 26. I don't know, first week where guys are gonna be for sure, but that's gonna be my favorite weight.
Absolutely. And it selfishly for the Class B clearer picture, you hope that Olson and Carlin can match up at some point.
Yeah. Yep.
Another couple Saturday events. What about the O'Neill Invite? The O'Neill Invite's always a big one. They have a crazy configuration up there that they just did. Like they put up a crazy custom mat that they had made so they can do
Oh,
8
nice.
mats through 2 gyms. And so like their main gym actually holds 5 circles on a custom mat. And the mat runs. I think a picture last year that was kind of thrown around was like the mat is literally right up to the feet of the fans in row 1. Like, so there's not a ton of space in there, but they're like offset, so they have it's like here, 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 and here, if that makes sense. Like
Oh man, really?
yeah, it's really cool. So like you have
God.
3, and then so it's kind of staggered, and so it's wild. I just have to see if I can get a picture of that sometime and send it to you guys. But obviously, my former AD up there, he it moved up to O'Neill, and he was the one that sent me that a year ago. They're pretty proud of being able to run such a heavy tournament, and that with that custom mat to have because I think girls are at that tournament too, I believe.
This tournament is absolutely loaded, boys.
Hmm.
54 ranked wrestlers across 3 classes.
Yeah, it's freaking nuts. Like the teams that are there, O'Neill, Shadron, Crofton, Bloomfield, David City. Like some of these are Class C's that I'm listing first. Madison, Norfolk Catholic, O'Neill, Pierce, Summerland, Valentine, West Holt, Wilbur, Claytonia. Then you throw in Chamberlain, South Dakota. Norfolk High is there, and then Neely, Oakdale, and
That's
Gordon,
I think
Rushville.
that's
That's
usually
Norfolk's JV.
that's usually
Oh,
their
okay,
JV.
okay.
Yeah.
It didn't say JV on the track
Yeah, that's tricky.
deal,
Yeah,
so it
that's
just said
track.
Norfolk High.
Yeah, no, they're not there.
Okay, so scratch that. That made me just a slightly less excited about the O'Neill invite.
Still plenty to be excited about at
Oh,
that
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
What like 138 is crazy. That Hayden Schmidt and Brody Schmidt match that could be
Yeah.
pretty good. And then you also have number 3 Ashton Kuhar from Battle Creek. 157. You have the top 3 in Class C preseason. I guess you got Bowling from Pierce, Burdick from Valentine, and Vadichka from David City. 1, 2, 3. All potentially at 157 if it all materializes. And yeah, lots of good matches there.
Be really cool if Corbin Hofer was up a weight this weekend and in that 150 mix, huh?
Oh well, his teammate Cooper Earhart is probably going to be
That's
there.
true. That's
Yep.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But 157 is the big one.
Yeah.
So maybe they're both up a weight, and Earhart will mix
Yeah.
it up with the 157s.
Yeah, so then we have the Kozat invite.
Yeah.
It's always a staple on week 1 as well. Tough one out of the gate. There is the list here is Kozad, Gothenburg, Mitchell, Ogallala, Alliance, Aurora, Gearing, Gretna East goes all the way out to Kozad. Hastings, Lex, McCook, Platteview, Plattsmouth, and Sydney. So
It's been a really good Class B opening weekend tournament for the last several years, and now interestingly enough, Kozad and Gothenburg now are down to C, and then you have Mitchell and Ogallala out there. So a few Class C schools now, but I think a few years ago they had like 15 or 16 Class B only schools. But yeah, now Kozad's down in C, and I mean they're going to see. And this is probably going to be one of their tougher events up until the Lex invite. But 144 is the one you got to circle with number 1 Tristan Campbell out of Class B, and then Gavin Cheek, returning finalist from Mitchell, number 2 in Class C, and then you just basically have a who's who of big names after that. So yeah, that'll be a pretty hotly contested weight where you see some good ones in the quarters.
yeah, I still can't get over the idea that Kozad is Class C. That just blows me away. I mean, I know that's just the landscape of how things change, but that one's gonna be hard for me to get used to when I'm going over tournaments and stuff, and I see Kozad, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Class C school. I'll have to kind of pay attention to on my end.
Yeah. They got some good young guns between this year and next year coming into there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see that Wyatt Huffley will be, he's pretty highly ranked in Class C. That'll be his first, high school tournament.
Yeah.
They do have a duel the night before, but Carter Kiesling from Aurora, another freshman there, that could be a good one at 106. Not sure if we'll see any other big names there, I guess, but I mean, yeah, Kozad should be set for a few years. They got some good youth kids coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want to talk about Bennington invite at all? Kearney High?
Yeah.
What
So
got
you
for-
want
what
to
do
take
you got for-
Kearney, and I'll take Bennington.
Yeah. Kearney we're going to see the aforementioned Scotts Bluff there, and that could be a matchup of the number 1 in Class A versus number 1 in Class B, with Blake Eddy from Grand Island and Anthony Shiflett of Scotts Bluff at 106. 126, you got 3, 4, and 5 with Hannaborg, Kwolek, Snow, and then there's just a lot of good action. 215, number 1 versus number 2 in A with Boley and Floral. Kearney, the thing with Kearney that I really like about how they run their tournament is they do pools. and then from those pools, they'll have a semifinal final. So you
Mm.
get your hands on as many guys. It's not going 0 and 2 and out. So you get to see a lot of the guys touch that you want to see. So that's always something I've really enjoyed about the Carney Invite. First year, the Carney Invite's going to be out at the new Carney Sports Center. It's not at the high school. So that is a change that if people are not aware of, to keep an eye on.
That is a fantastic facility as far as I've heard. I have
Yeah,
not
I've
been
not
out
been
there
out there
yet.
yet, but I've heard it's much like the Columbus facility.
Mm. The one that does the Manstat?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's all the rage now to build a big old sportsplex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it. Bring your green
Everyone's
hat.
Bring
doing
your
it.
green hat.
Hey, so Cody,
Yeah.
the 106 kind of got me thinking. Is 106 in Class A one of the more open weights that you can think of in recent memory?
Yes, I would say it's nice because how many years in a row have we kind of had an idea of who was going to win, and they've held their weight all the way through. 106 this year is wide open. I know there's a couple talented freshmen that will have their hat in the ring with Wahab Unle and Levi Halbert and Manzito up at Elkhorn South. Um, so obviously their names to be there, but we also have a lot of guys returning at that weight. So it's pretty wide open that I'm really excited to have a little bit of fun, and it'll be something that I'm guessing there'll be changes every week within the rankings. So yes, definitely excited for 106 in Class A. Um, I'm really excited because we're just at the point where we don't know yet. We haven't had matches wrestled,
Hmm.
so that's what gets me really excited, gets me going. Is just trying to figure out who's who and where can they touch. If that's always something that I keep my eye on.
I 100% agree. I think that I wonder if any of the 13s in Class A are thinking about maybe making a move down at some point too. But yeah, so right now our number one guy in A is Blake Eddy,
Yep,
and he's a blood rounder from last year. So it's entirely possible,
he
unless
missed a
anything
lot of
changes.
time last year with injury too.
Yep, and it's possible we could see a whole new podium in
Yeah,
Class A at 106, and it's probably not overly uncommon at that weight with the youngsters coming in, but
I want to
still kind of one to
say,
watch, and could be a team race weight too that
yeah,
matters.
I want to say Eddie podiumed at Fall Brawl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's been around a while.
Um, anything
Wanna,
else out of Carney?
Oh, like I said, 215's another big one with Boley and Floral. Will Rathjen from North Platte, Henry Whitty from Southeast. So that'll be another one of the big weights. Kind of keep an eye on.
yeah, what about Bennington invite there, Drew?
Bennington's always kind of cool because you get I mean, Bennington's obviously a powerhouse, and then Columbus is going to be in for a great season in Class A, and then Aquinas is always really great in Class D. So you are going to see some cross-class battles that will sort of help with the all-class picture, if you will.
Mm.
Um, you'll get your first look at Jaden Schamer from Aquinas probably that day, the number one ranked wrestler at D106. He is a freshman, so um, kind of a kid to keep an eye on. 132 is a really deep weight. I think 5 or 6 ranked guys. Bennington. I know we sort of talked about how Columbus has some talented kids that are sort of stuck in the middle of the lineup that may not get a varsity spot. Bennington has maybe a little bit of the same going. They have Evan Warner and Tayton Almond and um, oh geez, who's the 38 pounder? Paxton Morgan, who was tremendous on the youth scene for a while, but was hurt last year, so you wouldn't see his name in any results. But that kid's super talented, so odds are one of those guys will maybe not shake out there by the end of the season, but probably overall as a team thing and a dual situation thing, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I have a question for Drew. I need
Oh,
you to clear the air for all of us in the wrestling community. Can you pronounce Aquinas Camden's last name?
I think it's
106?
DeWispelair. That's what I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I
Yeah, because
was.
I was trying to figure that out when I was reading the spelling. He's been around a while. I know, following him through the youth circuit. He's been on the podium a bunch at USA and AEU. So,
I think his dad follows us, so maybe he can clarify for
yeah.
us if
Yeah. If he
possible.
could, that would be great.
Yep.
How else would you say it?
I don't know.
To me, I'm like, I think it could only be DeWispelair.
Maybe the W silent. Display.
Cody, I don't know, man. I really don't know.
It's kind of like that Creighton wrestler, Ledoux, instead of Ladaux.
But that's like
Well,
Chris Ledoux,
Yeah,
the
I
country
know.
yeah,
guy.
You always got random letters
It's not
thrown in there.
Ladaux. No one's gonna
yeah.
say Ladaux.
It's just like the Bayou Bengals down there in LSU.
Yeah.
You know, goo.
Gaux Tigers.
All right, let's move on. Okay, prep at the Donnybrook.
Donnybrook's going to be freaking tough, man. It's not unlike Gardner Edgerton in a sense that there's a bunch of nationally ranked teams there. Not sure if Prep will have all their guys. I'm not sure if Zion's able to go yet.
Yeah, and they kind of fall in that same rule as the CB Classic. State of Iowa, it's a mandate for tournaments. You can only have teams from border states. So that's why they're not able to, like how Gardner Edgerton's bringing in Allen, Texas. Yeah, that's a state of Iowa a rule that you can only your only competition can be border states.
Okay, interesting.
Tony told me that one.
They're pretty strict on letting them out of state too,
Yeah.
if they do at all. I can't remember that for sure, but there's definitely something weird about that. But
I think it's you can't go more than it's either an hour or 2 hours. Because like this weekend we'll see Missouri Valley at Bennington, but I mean that's right or yeah that's 30 minutes away.
Gotcha. Okay, and you guys already kind of touched on Scott and Lincoln East at Gardner Edgerton. Um, oh gosh, then we got some girls stuff here: Norfolk, Fremont, and O'Neill. Like what do you got there for that note there?
O'Neill, the O'Neill girls invite's going to be really good. Norfolk goes over there, and then there's I think 4 of the top 10 in Class B, like Pierce, West Holt, Battle Creek, Boone Central. Neely Oakdale's got some good girls. Crofton's had good ones in recent years. I'm gonna make myself mad here because I can't remember. Grace Drukey from O'Neill and Lily Mefford from Battle Creek, and either Daisy Cleveland or Kennedy Werner from Norfolk will all be in that 130 area. Peyton Becker, Boone Central, Madeline Pistolka from West Hull. So that's a good one. Drukey was, pretty much a shoe-in for a state medal last year, and I think she got hurt. So she's probably hungry for some matches. She's a great wrestler. So home mats, that might be a fun one to watch unfold. Pretty much every weight there is good, and we will have previews out for girls and boys this week. So if you are a premium Rockfin subscriber, you can read these in detail and not have to listen to every word we say on pins and needles. Just so you guys know. But O'Neill's a good one. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on the O'Neill girls invite. Should be
49 ranked girls.
Wow,
yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good one out of the gate. And then how about the Kaylin Lyons and Jordan Campbell?
Yeah,
potential
so
matchup at
I'm
Bennington?
speculating on that one a little bit, but I think the plan is eventually is Lyons will be 130 and Campbell 35, but they're the top 2 senior girls in the state, and they wrestled twice last season, and they were both super close. So if it happens, it happens, and that's awesome for the sport. If it doesn't, they've already done it twice, and if their schedules are the same, they could meet up again later in the year too. So, but that's definitely one to maybe sort of keep an eye on, because that would be what you sort of put into like the mega match stratosphere when it comes to girls. Yeah.
We did have Jordan Campbell just made her college commitment too.
Yep. Western Colorado.
Okay, so West Side girls.
They're heading to Donnybrook also.
Okay.
So the girls' Donnybrook is Thursday, Friday, and then the boys start on Friday, which would be prep, and they're Friday, Saturday. West Side's got a ton of good kids. Mara Vanderpool, Addie Grazier, and Macy Barber would probably be the three that jump out as very serious high medal contenders in that event, because it's a really tough one. But they have a number of other girls who are state medal quality kids that should help with the team score. So hopefully they're full strength.
Yeah. All right. So we put out some pretty sweet graphics on social media. If you guys are listening to this and did not catch those, and or if you're watching this on Facebook, we're going to pop these up here on the screen and kind of give you guys a look at them as well. We'll start with Class A and kind of have you guys dissect these as we go through them. All right.
Yeah.
So there is Class A. This is our Who's number one.
I will come out, since I am the one on here and have already been hearing about heavyweight in Class A. There is some
I was going to bring it up.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yep. So we have history of the Roberto is returning runner-up, and Holtmeyer is third place from last year. Colton Tucker was fourth, and Wagner was fifth. Colton Tucker beat Wagner 14-11 at the Hack finals and pinned him at the state tournament. So that's where you kind of can't have him above a person that's beat him twice.
Yeah.
And Holtmeyer beat Tucker, and Roberto beat Holtmeyer.
Well, wait a second. Notre Dame is ahead of Miami.
Yeah.
Just wanted to throw that in there.
You bunch of silly gooses.
Silly goose. Obviously, the jury is still out on where prep is going to go at 26 and 32 with Zion and Caniglia. So that's not for sure yet on 26-32. I think we might see some other changes at the middle weights later on this season at 50-57. Mm-hmm. So that is a possibility. There could be a couple changes there. Probably be around the Metro tournament when those happen. That's Class A in a nutshell.
What's pretty striking to me about Class A, because a lot of people are like, well, they only have 8 per district and half the kids qualify and all this. But like, if you go through, I'm going to exclude 106 because that's, we don't know a lot about it yet. But I'm going to rattle this off as fast as I can. But it's pretty crazy because we're talking like high level guys.
Yeah.
113, KTC, Carter Booz, Caden Engel, Isaiah Tuttle. All great wrestlers.
Yep.
120, Cruiser Dominguez, Matty Marco from Lincoln East, Rudy Rodriguez from Grand Island. Those guys, we're talking about kids that do well nationally.
Yeah.
And there's multiple of these guys at every weight. Yep. 126, Zion, Landon Rosenthal, Tyler Hanneberg. Same thing. 132, Cole Caniglia, Creighton Lassen from Millard West won preseason nationals. Yeah. He's ranked number 2. Jackson Draves from Grand Island's one of the better sophomores in the state. The kid's a little beast.
We could also see another wrestler going down to 32 as well.
Who might that be?
Ian Hardy.
Oh, Hardy. And I was going to say at 38, you have Mink,
Yeah.
Hardy, Miles Sanchez, who was second last year by a razor thin margin,
Kirk Wilson, who
and then
went
Kirk
seven
Wilson,
and one,
who's
or he was 7-1, I think. I can't remember if he was undefeated or 7-1 at Disney duels this summer.
yep. Jermaine Dortch, returning champ. Cam Green Jr. returning runner up, 144. 50. Akerson, Ingwerson, Kelly, and Eisenman's a good wrestler. Peterson, Rod. I mean, I shouldn't
Yeah.
even list off all these names, but 157. Peterson, Danzy, Griffith, insane.
Yep.
Griffith's a Fargo All American. He's ranked third. 65, Cruz, Harder, Navarro. That's like the 157 class from last year,
Yeah.
where all those guys were within a few points of each other. Delano Wagner at
They're going to
75.
touch so many times this year, too. Because Norfolk and Columbus, I swear, wrestle once a week.
It's like a contract's written.
Yeah.
A true hack rivalry.
Yeah.
So 190, JT Smith. And is Kylon Haney at 190 now?
Yep.
I mean, we'll see if he stays. I mean, 215 with Bowley up there might be a little. I don't know. JT Smith is just a beast, so
Haney weighed in at 187.
Okay, and then we've already talked about 285. So
yeah,
I'm just really impressed. Like the top end talent in Class A is probably about as good as it's ever been. So
yeah,
there you go.
Well, and I don't think that's ever going to be going away. Like I don't think it's ever going to really dip because I mean it's pretty well documented that the talent coming out of Nebraska is only elevating.
And wait till next year when Bennington's in Class A. That's only going to make it deeper.
Are they going to be Class A?
Bennington and Elkhorn North.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That'll be an interesting change. All right.
Yeah, all sports, they'll be in Class A next year.
Let's move to Class B. There is Class B.
Look at that murderer's row of Scott.
Somebody made a comment when we posted this that, I can't remember who it was, but, look at, don't recognize some of those Scott names. They're probably transfers. And I think the only person who's a transfer there was Christo, and that was like after his freshman year. And I don't even know. He didn't medal. He
started at Scott either. As a freshman.
No, he wrestled 1 year at Ashland. Yep.
All right.
But I mean, those guys are Scott pretty much through and through. And
yeah.
If you don't recognize their names, I mean, Ben Ziola and Riley Johnson are going for their third titles. Harrell's going for his fourth, and Christo and Rotella are returning runner-ups. That's pretty impressive stuff.
And not to mention, Ziola, Harrell, Rotella, Johnson all signed D1 or committed D1.
Yeah, I mean, just good stuff there.
We need to talk about 190. How insane is that match going to be?
Well, yeah, you got the battle of the red-headed Johnsons, no relation. Riley Johnson from Scott and Merrick Johnson from Beatrice, depending on if he dyes his hair for state or not. But I mean, that's just tremendous level of talent there between those two guys, and it's I think Merrick in this case is considered maybe a little bit of an underdog and is wanting to take on that challenge, which is pretty dang awesome because he's got a state title, which is great. 215, he'd be ranked number 1 because he's beaten Bauman before, and he's going 190 and he's gonna give it a go, which is sweet. So Riley is the man. He was really impressive at Night of Conflict. He was literally seconds away from beating like the third ranked wrestler in the nation at Super 32. I watched the match. So if Merrick can go out there and scrap, then he'll be a name to watch maybe outside of the football scene on the wrestling scene at a D1 kind of level as well.
Is Merrick channeling his inner Loudon Swain?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's
on
funny.
A Vision Quest this year.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt that that's probably like the highest profile potential match in Class B, don't you think?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. What would you say is the deepest weight in Class B? Because they're like Class A where there's guys all the way throughout, but the top one that comes to your mind, what weight would you say?
I think right now maybe 175.
Okay.
Nico at the top, but then Reese Knight from Gehring, and Zane Thompson, who won Fall Brawl.
Zane Thompson's been on a tear.
Yeah. So they should probably wrestle at Kozad on Saturday, and then Grady Meyer from Wahoo. Those top four are pretty solid. At 190, that Ty Buafakio from Bennington's going to be in there with the Johnson Bros, who are
Yep.
not actually bros. I don't know, man. I mean, I like 126 with Carlin
26
and
is where I
Childers,
was
and
going to
yeah,
go.
and
That was the one I had
Olsen.
my eye on. And we'll get to see a big matchup Saturday.
I'm gonna go, and I'm sorry, Beatrice. I'm gonna go with Dom Olsen, man. He was impressive at Fargo to me. So
Yeah.
we'll see. He got to get up off bottom on Carlin, but
Yeah, that's the thing no one can
and make
seem to
and that's
master.
not like that's not a scouting report because he'll choose top. So
Yeah.
good luck, because he's wrote a lot of people out, a lot of good people that'll surprise you. And I mean, you mentioned earlier that match with Rosenthal last year. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's done it to Ian Hardy before. He's done it to everybody almost, you know.
Yep, he did it to Hanneborg out at Lexington last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's tall. He's freaking tall. He's probably like 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And wrestling 126. So no, there's some weights in B I think that are kind of up, maybe not up in the air, but like 106 Shiflet should be back down, but then you're going to have an army of freshmen kind of thing. I really like Colton Strange from Scud. I think he could probably make a run there.
For the Class B people, you're very familiar with Syracuse, and they're coming up this year. Kind of tell us a little bit about Brock Goebel.
Oh, well, I mean, returning champ. He's a champ at 106. I think we were all expecting him at 113, but he ended up going 20 at Super 32, which sort of, I guess, put the writing on the wall. But yeah, I mean, I would expect Gavin Arata from Scut to be at 120, although he could be 26. If he's at 120, that would be probably a potential toss-up style match at 120. Oscar Brown from Scotts Bluff, they listed at 13. I thought he looked big last year, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, he could be. He'll be really solid and tough to beat there. I like Levi DeVetter out of Scott as well. Sorry for all the Scott mentions, guys, but they're good, so get used to it.
Colton Strange.
Yeah, at 6. So yeah, I mean, I think in Class B, one of the cooler storylines of the year, it would probably be the duels, the state duels, because Bennington's going to have some flexibility in their lineup, and
Yeah.
you know, some firepower to sort of go toe to toe in a lot of those matches. I like Crew Carlson at Scott at 138, and they have Bennington has their own freshman there, potentially in Paxton Morgan. So that might be a neat match to see.
All right. Fantastic stuff. Let's go to Class C. There is Class C. Drew, you gotta. I mean, I know the Class C is kind of my thing this year, but like you're the one with the history because of me coming right off the coaching circuit. I mean, what kind of jumps off the page for you regarding Class C?
Jace Martin is if he makes 13 as a senior, then good for him. I am very excited at 13 to see what Easton Widener does. Eric Prado's a returning state runner-up. He'll probably be there as well. So maybe 113 I kind of have my eye on a little bit. 132.
I thought that like personally, I felt like there wasn't really like a name. I mean, I kind of look at like Hayden Schmidt a little bit, or maybe like Brady Hochstein is maybe like the bigger favorites in their weight classes. And besides maybe 106 with Ace Schweitzer. You know, like, am I off there? Because I think that these are really like I don't think that you don't have like your kind of what you said in the previous classes where you have real dominant dudes at 1, where there might be a drop off at 2, 3, 4 or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I would say Hayden Schmidt is probably a pretty heavy favorite, but if Cash Watson is back at 138, he had like what I would consider a really fluky state tournament last year. I think he was winning in the blood round.
Yes, he was.
By
It
like
was
12
against.
points and got pinned,
That was
and
to Chaz Erickson from
yeah,
Kearney Catholic. Yeah.
and he had beaten almost every other guy in that weight class. So I think that he could probably give Schmidt some troubles. The Hochstein, all three of them. I mean, those guys are beasts. But don't forget about Maverick Heine from Cedar Catholic as well. I think he's going to probably be, maybe not. Maybe dead even with Farman. I don't know who would win that match. I haven't seen them wrestle each other.
Can I ask you guys a question on the Hochsteins?
No.
Watching the Ord Cedar Catholic game this year, there's a freshman now. Is he wrestling? Is he a brother or cousin? Do you guys know?
I do not know. It was
Okay,
not
I don't know if
listed
there's
on.
going to be a fourth one up there in that lineup.
Not that I have any information on.
I don't think so.
So.
I'm probably wrong though, so take that for what it is.
I have to admit though that I was kind of surprised with Grady Welke's jump from 75 to 215. That he was obviously a medalist. I think he got fourth a year ago at 175. And according to Coach Corkle, listed 215 on the coach's preview that he sent into us. That one was a surprise. I thought maybe if he was going to jump, it'd obviously be just to 190. But when you get up into that range, it's not always necessarily anybody's making a jump either. So.
Hey, watch out for Colvin Peters from Central City at 215. I know I told you that the other day, but I'm thinking he's gonna. He was hurt all year last year, so that's my dark horse.
I actually think if that prediction comes to fruition with what you were saying, where look for him to be a little higher than where we have him starting out, that really elevates Central City's chances at being right in the thick. I mean, they're already in the thick of it because there's like 23 points that separates these, the top 7 or something like that. I think I had figured out. And so, like I think about him and then maybe the Burbach kid, and how his brother kind of jumped. Like if he follows that same trajectory, like I think Preston Burbach, and he was kind of still that little, for lack of a better word, doughy freshman body last year, but his attitude and the way he wrestles is super physical. And now being back in Class C, like, yeah, I think Central City is going to probably. I think they have a lot of room to grow. I guess really. So.
Yeah, and you have Battle Creek #1 over Cedar Catholic. How close is that?
4 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
buckle up.
Yeah, it is going to be absolutely madness. I think, yeah, I had Battle Creek at 100 and Cedar Catholic at 96, but then when we had to recalculate one of those weights because of my error having Ethan Kester ranked twice, that actually had to bump out one of the kids from Cedar Catholic out of the rankings, the younger Kleinschmidt kid. So that would take away 4 more points, so I guess it'd technically be 8 points in terms of separation between Cedar Catholic and Battle Creek. And then all behind them is St. Paul, Central City, Pierce, David City, Valentine, all separated. They're all real close, so.
Yeah, you got to set the bar in Class C to probably have to clear 100 points probably to win, which Cedar Catholic's probably going to get 100 out of 4 guys. And then you got the Kleinschmidts that could potentially elevate them up a little higher. Yeah.
Losing, obviously they had to split that co-op obviously to be able to stay in C, but that obviously they lose Grady Lammers because of that, and so that was a big, you have to sacrifice those potential points at a lighter weight as well. So be interesting, definitely interesting in Class C as it always is.
One thing that kind of caught my eye, Eli Colt coming up from Class D.
Mm-hmm.
UTN's got a couple hammers in there. They got a good freshman group, so that was one of the things that kind of caught my eye.
Yeah, and Colt would probably be the first one to tell you he wasn't happy with the finish of his season last year. So likely wrestling with the chip on his shoulder. He did have a win last year over Aiden Wentz, who's a two-timer in Class C. Before Wentz dropped down to 13, so you know Colt has got the skill.
Was that at the Logan View invite?
That was at
It sure
Loganville.
was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought so. So I feel like I
I think we
remember
were all at
exactly
that
where I
one.
was standing when I watched that happen.
Yeah,
So
that was surprising. I was sitting right by it. It was definitely caught me off guard. So
yeah,
kid's got skill.
I was probably eating.
But
the
I
old
think in class, I mean, you can't before we flip the page to D. I mean, 126, 113. Cody Barton's a returning finalist, so maybe a little bit of a favorite at 120, but 13, 26, 32 is probably in question. Um, 90, 215, and then 285 just because of how unpredictable it was last year. I mean, I feel like several weights in Class C are kind of in question, which is probably going to lead to some craziness in Omaha and then maybe another wild team race like we saw last year.
I'm just gonna
Hey,
mention it. I'm just gonna mention it right now. Like at 190, Tragan Fitzke. Like obviously, I coached him last year, a year ago, and I know his mentality. He came on at the very end of the year, really, really strong. And those matches that he wrestled with Boyles from Superior, who's really tough. That was a close match, and I know that we didn't ever wrestle Brock Genitow throughout the year, but I know that in terms of common opponents and all that stuff, it was like it's all right there. Like the difference that separates one through, in my opinion, four at 190 is basically a hair. Like that is really close, razor thin at 190. So
Drew, going back to Cody Barton,
Mm-hmm.
um, he there at Malcolm's at York. Will he be down at 20, or could we have him up in that group at 126?
Don't know.
So that'll
Probably
be,
probably know in a couple days.
yeah.
But no, I don't know. But I mean, be cool either way.
Yeah.
all right, let's turn this page over to D. All right, there it is.
Cody, you know all these guys, right?
Yeah, pretty much. SRC guys, obviously a lot of returning starters there. They're the number 2 team in Class D, so they're going to be loaded in the upper weights. That's about as far as I can know.
Okay. Well, obviously you guys
Good job.
No,
you guys already
I know a lot of the bigger names, but I'm not nearly as well versed as you guys when it gets beyond that. I know Drake Troxell's got a big match this weekend down at EMF. So that'll be one to keep an eye on. He's got Kearney
Erickson.
Catholic, Chaz Erickson, yeah.
Oh,
It
that'll be a
it
good one.
probably won't happen, but because of Wahoo coming back from football and all that. But 175, Verbka and then Grady Meyer could potentially wrestle.
That'd be a good
Yeah,
one.
I feel like Class D maybe has more favorites than the others. Gall's a returning champ. So is Fiel, Troxel, Hofer, Dog, Guzman, Jensen, Stewart. Forney's a returning finalist. So, I mean, a lot of these weights are not maybe super up for grabs at the moment. But one that caught me off guard was 157. I mean, I do my best to follow all 4 classes, but the name Kazan Smith is not one that I'm overly familiar with. So, maybe that's going to be one of your more hotly contested weights in Class D this year.
That wouldn't happen to be relation to
I wondered.
Jack
Like,
and Drew.
yeah. I wonder. I don't know. And Luke,
I mean,
it's very
yeah,
possible.
man, that'd be interesting because now that when you see it say twin loop there, like that's a callback, I guess, obviously to the old Sergeant Burwell days or Sergeant just standalone, but
The horns and dogs.
Horns dogs. Yeah. I should have put some Z's on there. So anyway,
Yeah, but I mean that one right there stands out to me, and maybe I'm not fully in on the Class D stuff, but I try and keep a close eye on it. So I would say 57 jumps out. 106, Jaden Schamer, we've talked about him already as a freshman. How will he adjust? He is really, really good, though. There's a reason why he's there. So
He's got a really good practice partner too.
well, yeah. So they have Aquinas has two guys in the top 6
Yeah.
with our guy. What did you say earlier? The W silent displayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Displayer.
Displayer. He's going to display some really good moves on Saturday. And
I do know that the Class D
Displadle.
Yeah, there you go, Displadle. The Class D
gosh.
team race is
That'd be
going to
cool if
be
he
a
did
lot
it.
of fun.
Yeah, it should be.
Uh,
De Wispelair is going to Displadle you.
But yeah, Class D, I think all 5 of those teams, I think, could make a case between Burwell, Shelby Rising City, Plainview, Central Valley, and Aquinas. They kind of separate themselves from the rest of the group. They all have, as the kids say, 6 or 7 guys ranked. So I just wanted to set Drew up on that one.
Yeah,
so.
you did. Teed it up.
Yeah.
I was going to avoid it.
So, but those top 5, I think, will make for a really good team race.
Yeah, no, I think that okay. So you see Burwell on there.
Yeah.
You see Aquinas. You got a Plainview. You got a Pirate on there. You have
you see SRC.
Shelby, yep, and times 3.
Yeah.
So if that happens, then shoot, yeah, you are kind of. It's gonna probably be close, but yeah, it does sort of look like maybe Burwell and Shelby Rising City at this point. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because according to the rankings, like obviously it says, Burwell has 7 ranked, Shelby, SRC 6, Plainview 5, Central Valley 6, Aquinas 7. After that, it kind of falls out in terms of the depth. So like, it's going to be, what are you laughing about?
Nothing. Just laughing.
You said 6 and 7
Yeah.
again. That's why.
Oh gosh. That's got
Aquinas has 7, but only 6 are scoreable in this case.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Yeah. Which I don't understand that. I don't get that, but that's maybe a conversation for another time. I don't understand why they don't score points. But
yeah, we're over an hour again, and we're supposed to do these in 40. How is this going to work every week?
I don't know.
It's just not. You guys might have to deal with us for an hour. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. It's the first week.
Yeah, once we get some actual stuff, but okay. So obviously, after that's Class D.
Did you grab the girls' graphics or no?
I did not.
Okay.
I only had the 4 in your email.
Okay, that's okay.
So we can hit those.
No, I'll go ahead. I'll run through them. How about that? Class A, Riley Dane Gehring at 100, and then I'm not going to name every weight after this. But we talked about 105 a little bit. Madeline Bonet kind of leads the way, going for her 3rd title this year. But you have state champ Lauren Freehoff, state runner-up Anna Purdue, state runner-up Mara Vanderpool. That weight is going to be excellent if everyone stays. Mia Anderson from Bennington at 110. Carson McBride, also returning champ. Carson McBride, 115, returning champ. Kaylin Harrell, 120, returning champ. Evie Betcher, 125, runner-up. Kaylin Lyons, 130, champ. Sophia Hagemeyer, 135, champ. Kira Haynes, Lincoln East is a medalist. Farron Thiemann at 145 for Bellevue East is a finalist. Fabi Cortez, medalist. Grazier, champ. Barber, medalist. And then at 235, I kind of thought this one was interesting just because the Omaha Buena Vista program isn't really one that's for front and center just yet, but I hope I get her name right. Sandra Aku has kind of garnered the top rank starting the season. But I'd really keep an eye on Ashley Najera out of Lexington as well, who's kind of been winning all over the place this year at 235. Class B, Hadley Mazzola from Auburn at 100. Allie Reyes from Johnson County Central, 105. Addie Darling, returning champ, 110. Leanne Luna, 15. Rylan Custard, 20. Felicia Kirkman, returning finalist at 25. And then we talked about Grace Durkee earlier at 130. There you go. Well, that's the Class A one. Jordan Campbell, we've talked about at 35 and B.
There's B, sorry.
Caden Sipp, state champ. Haley Rusher, state champ. Maggie Feen, state champ. Kersave, state champ. Arbdal, state champ. Brian Aldrich, state champ. So I think from 135 on up, every girl in Class B is a state champion.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But there's no guarantees either. I mean, that's just pretty wild to see. Basically, half the weights are already occupied with champs.
It's weird to not see Jocelyn Prado in here. She's been such a staple.
Yeah, she's wrestling for York College.
Yep.
Collegiately. Yep.
I always just enjoy interviewing her because she's so full of life and energy and
she did the dunk celebration, didn't she?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Okay, so since we've been going for such a long time, probably better wrap this thing up. So
get in the spirit of Christmas and wrap it up.
Yeah, so just want to kind of reiterate the fact, just once again, thanks to Joe Schluckabeer again and Ensure Nebraska for making this podcast a reality for us. And we just appreciate everything you do for us and growing the sport of wrestling.
Quick hitter questions?
I mean, I had one, but I didn't know if we needed to get out of here.
I was looking forward to it.
Go ahead and ask one. Ask one.
All right. In the spirit of getting back to tournaments this weekend, off the top of your head, can you guys each give a top 3 hospitality room that you remember?
Oh my gosh. From coaching, easily.
No, just in general, like, where are your top 3 hospitality rooms for the spread and the smorgasbord of
No,
food?
that's what I'm saying. Like, it was when I was coaching at Wood River, actually the Central Valley, I don't even think it was Central Valley at the time, but that invite over there in that Greeley area, they always had a really good spread, if I remember right, when I was at Wood River. That would be tops, because that was all mothers from the wrestling team that had their crock pots and all this stuff, like it was just all homemade, great food. That jumps off instantly, right away. That was one that made an impact on. I was like, man, I could coach forever doing this.
Yeah, that's David City. That is my forever number one. Same thing. All the moms and grandmas got their crock pots that they bring homemade meals and homemade treats, and that's always my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
And then my other 2 that I had are York does a really good one for breakfast and lunch, and Logan View. That fried chicken and Oreo fluff.
Oh boy, you could never go wrong with the Oreo fluff at the old Logan View invite. Yeah.
Yep. Drew?
I don't know if that may not be a
like
thing
the
anymore.
John Higgins.
Yeah.
Those guys kind of roll out the red carpet though, which I love.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the quick hitter question. I'll have to have some questions ready for you next week when we get some results under our belt and all that kind of stuff too. But dual rankings are dropping
probably Monday.
What else are we doing?
We'll have recaps from opening weekend, kind of highlighting some of the bigger matches.
Awards.
Yeah, and we'll do Wrestler of the Week, Freshman of the Week, Team of the Week every week for all, I guess, 6 classes, if that's what you want to say. And then we will be next week in tandem with NEWrestle. We'll be streaming the Council Bluffs Classic, which has a ton of mostly bigger Nebraska schools, and then the following week we'll have the Logan View invite. So, and new rankings for that week as well. So. Don't stray away, because the content's coming in hot, and then I think we're going to do a girls tournament in Conestoga at the end of December, and then January is going to be absolutely crazy. I can't wait to kind of share what we're doing in January.
We have a pretty big try coming up that I'm excited for.
Who's that?
Millard South Columbus Prep.
Yeah, we're streaming that one. That's
Yep.
a prep.
I am excited.
All right. Well, that'll do it for the third episode here at the NEWrestle podcast. Just want to say thanks and adios.
See you guys.